Hey boys, check it out. There's a member of the Taliban.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 insanely racist moments in professional wrestling that you forgot about.
I never thought my life could be this good.
For this list, we'll be ranking the racially insensitive moments or storylines that may have flown under our collective radar over the years, yet like some sort of cringy fever dream, evidence of their existence continues to rear its ugly head.
I don't get it. I believe it's a lawnmower.
Number 10. Don't Disrespect Yoshi Tatsu.
Yoshi Tatsu! Oh, that young man, Yoshi Tatsu, left behind fame and notoriety in Japan for the acclaim of the WWE.
The world of professional wrestling has historically been a place of exaggerated characters and broad cultural stereotypes. The foreign heel archetype was one that unfortunately stuck around far longer than it should, and remnants of that racism can still be felt in this match between Yoshi Tatsu and Shelton Benjamin. It took place after ECW had become part of the WWE programming banner and featured Benjamin making mocking bows and shows of disrespect in the direction of Tatsu. Thankfully, Benjamin received his comeuppance as Yoshi Tatsu beat him for the win. Number 9. On the Borderline with JBL.
I've made a fortune in this country that we call America, so I know what these type of people do to our economy.
This infamous segment with JBL, aka John Bradshaw Layfield, would never fly today. For starters, the former acolyte had already been gaining heat for his 2004 feud with Eddie Guerrero, thanks to a series of racially charged promos. This all came to a head, however, with a vignette that placed JBL at what was supposed to be the US-Mexico border.
Mexicans who come to our country and pay no taxes.
It was shot in anticipation of the pair's match at that year's Judgment Day pay-per-view. And JBL goes all in with the racism. He spits out anti-immigration rhetoric and even kicks out some hired actors that were pretending to be Mexican families trying to cross the border. It's wild stuff.
You tell everybody south of the border, they better stay south of the border, because this side of the border, John Bradshaw Layfield will be waiting.
Number 8. Crime Time Sing-Along. It could be argued that the creative idea behind Crime Time was itself racially motivated, as the writers clearly set these superstars up as a parody of gangster culture. This idea is leaned into even further during this short but not so sweet segment from SummerSlam 2007. Here, Crime Time busts in on a backstage powwow between Mr. McMahon, Coach, Teddy Long, and William Regal. It soon devolves into a dance circle around Mr. McMahon, although Regal does humorously join in for the big finale. The intention behind this segment was probably only intended to be silly and comedic, but the optics could certainly prove to be problematic today. Number 7. Afro Gold Dust.
What do you think about that?
Hold it right there, freak.
Dustin Runnels will always be considered a Hall of Fame talent. The man has the wrestling business in his blood and has succeeded in adapting the Goldust gimmick into many interesting phases over the years. The artist formerly known as Goldust Era is perhaps left forgotten, however, thanks especially to moments like this one.
Being accompanied to the ring by Luna from Hollywood, California, weighing in at 206.
It starts off on an immediate bad note once the parodic funk music starts to play. Then we're graced with the image of Goldust rocking an afro wig and blackface, and we can't believe our eyes. Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler make references to the Mod Squad and Shaft in an attempt to lighten the racial overtones, but it's no good. This was just a bad idea.
And don't tell me he's gonna try to wrestle with that wig on.
Number 6, the Muhammad Hassan problem. First things first, the Muhammad Hassan problem had absolutely nothing to do with Mark Kaplani, the man who played the character. The wrestler was just doing his best to sell a gimmick that was flawed from the start. Hassan was once again playing up the foreign heel archetype, only this time as an Arab American feeling persecuted in a post-9/11 America. The wrestler's promos often rang true alongside sentiments of the day, yet Hassan was continually pushed as the bad guy. This all came to a head during Hassan's feud with The Undertaker, thanks to a poorly conceived terrorist storyline.
What the hell is this? Who the hell is this? Two guys in masks. What the hell is going on here?
Additionally, the timing of this storyline coincided with the London bombings in 2005, making the entire Muhammad Hassan character problematic from the start.
Just look at these guys on their knees, these thugs or whatever the hell they are.
Number 5, the Mexicools.
I like this music. Listen. It's very cool. The music's cool, but I'm not too cool with the Mexicools and the doing as of late.
Super Crazy, Juventud Guerrera, Psicosis. These names should ring a bell for anyone who has followed Mexican wrestling over the years. Putting them together in a faction sounds like a great idea, right? Well, we're dealing with the WWE in the mid-2000s, so wrong. The Mexicools were created as a parody of Mexican stereotypes, but they did so in the most tone-deaf manner possible. Their debut featured them riding down to the ring on a make that Juan Deere lawnmower.
What the hell what is that? What is this? I don't get it. I believe it's a lawnmower.
They also wore matching coveralls, leaning into the stereotype of Mexicans as being day laborers. It's so brazenly racist that we can't believe this made it from the drawing board to the wrestling ring. Number 4, Somebody Like You.
Somebody like you?
It was the feud that Triple H absolutely should not have won. Booker T was finally in the world title picture at WWE, and his rival was smugly playing the race card in the weeks leading up to their match. Most infamously, Hunter used the phrase "somebody like you" when referring to Booker T as the sort of superstar who doesn't get to be world champion.
You see, people like you don't deserve it.
The promo does also reference Booker's time in WCW, but Triple H's body language and eye contact with his opponents says another story. This actually could have been resolved in a satisfactory way had Hunter received his comeuppance. Instead, Booker actually did lose at WrestleMania, much to the great dismay of the WWE fans.
Come on, Book. That's what you do. You're here to make people like me laugh.
Number 3, Kung Fu Naki. Poor Funaki.
Indeed.
Although we're glad that the Japanese superstar earned some proper respect as a WWE commentator after his retirement, the man just couldn't catch a break with his character. This isn't to say, of course, that Funaki's faction, Kaientai, wasn't awesome. The group even connected with fans in the WWE during their tenure, despite the over-the-top Japanese stereotypes that constantly followed them around. An example of the latter was the time when Funaki was being repackaged in 2008 with a new first name. That name? Kung. Get it? Kung Funaki? Ugh.
Weighing 192 pounds, Kung Funaki!
The new gimmick even saw Funaki adopt more outlandish martial arts moves into his arsenal, showing absolutely no shame whatsoever about its insensitive nature. Number 2, DX does the Nation.
The Nation! Look at the front, a rock! And look at Velo over there!
the world of WWE has unfortunately featured multiple instances of wrestlers wearing blackface. This segment from Monday Night Raw might be the most infamous, however, a parody that went beyond the pale. D-Generation X was feuding with the Nation of Domination and decided to dress up like their opponents, with varying degrees of racist results. Triple H, the Road Dogg, X-Pac, and more were all decked out like their Nation counterparts, laying down a promo that would live in infamy.
The people want to know, how do you get your pecs to go all the way around to your back like that?
The segment was even replayed as part of packages within the feud between Triple H and The Rock, proving that the E had absolutely no problem with this sort of content.
We had Triple H portraying the Croc. Yeah, and then the Road Dogg was Velo, the man. Look at Velo. Not to mention X-Pac as Neozark Henry, ladies and gentlemen.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Tell us he didn't just say that. We're with you here, Booker T. We still can't believe this actually made it to the air, even if it came from the mouth of the chairman, Mr. McMahon. The genetic jackhammer was backstage during the 2005 Survivor Series pay-per-view and stopped for a quick chat with John Cena. We can only assume that the latter's pedigree as the Doctor of Thugonomics emboldened McMahon to ask Cena what was good in the hood. However, Vince went a step further when he then added another word that we obviously can't repeat. The cutaway to Booker just sort of says it all, however. Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.